elevators, conveyor belts, custom doorways, all things we couldn't do before the prop mover came to creative mode. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do all three of these things. Let's go! Okay, before we get started, I need to teach you one thing about the prop mover. It's going to make a lot of these advanced things work. So I'm going to get out a platform here to demonstrate, but we're going to put our prop mover right here on it. And then the key principle here is that you can actually place two prop movers on it. So you can have one going one direction and one going the other. Now, one caveat to this, so I can make this go backwards and forwards, but I can't make it like turn directions, kind of like that, where it goes right and then turns the corner. In order to do that, you're going to have to use like a prop manipulator and like have new props appearing and stuff like that. You can make it seem seamless, but for today, I'm just going to show you how it works going back and forth. Now, one thing that's really easy to do is change path complete action to ping pong. That's just going to make it go back and forth like this. It's really easy, but that's not what we want. I want this to go one direction slow and back fast, or be able to trigger it to go open and trigger it to close. So let me just show you. So here it goes one way fast and then it comes back slow. Let me show you how I did that. So I've got my two prop movers here. This one is going 5 meters in that direction at a rate of 12 meters per second. Now you can change collision behavior. That's not really relevant right now. I have all of my collision damage off and set to continue. But what's most important is to start when receiving from channel 1. So that makes it move when I click this button. And the only other thing I have is when movement finishes, transmit on channel 2. Then channel 2 signals this prop mover that is moving that same 5 meters. If I set it to 2 meters or something, it's not going to go back all the way to its original position. So you have to make sure the distance is the same on both of those movers. And then the speed for this is set to 3 meters per second. So it's considerably slower. And then I change this to start when receiving from channel 2. That's the most important thing there, because it's getting signaled when this one finishes to return back to its original position. Now, if you want to make this automated so it's always going back and forth like it never stops, then all you have to do is change when movement finishes to channel 1. So now let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to interact with this. Here it goes, boom, and then it goes back, and then it resets, and it's just going to keep going like this, like non-stop. So that principle is what I did on my Geonosis droid factory that I built the other week. It's really that exact same thing. You can see here, this is my little like piston that I made that's going down fast and going up slow. I just have my two prop manipulators here. I have those exact same settings I just did. I mean, the distance and speed is a little different for this map, but it works exactly the same. Then I just have 3 other parts. So I have this part and then this part up here that also have 2 prop movers attached to it. And then there's 2 prop movers on this one attached up at the top, so that then you can see now all 3 are moving. So we got that one moving up there, this one moving here, and then this one moving down at the bottom. It just makes it look like a really fluid, really cool machine. I just love this device. It's so cool. Okay, so with this principle now, we can build some really cool things. So I'm just gonna build like a little office building here using some new of the command cavern pieces. I want to make like a door that slides open, kind of like what you see at a grocery store. It slides open and slides shut when you walk past it. Okay, so I got my office building here. I gotta make the doors really fast. Now, one thing I should show you guys, and I'm really disappointed about this, but you can see the prop mover works on normal walls and floors, but it does not work on glass doors. So I was trying to make like a glass door here, but I didn't realize you couldn't use it on glass. So that is really unfortunate. That's okay, we can make something else. Okay, so here's my doorway here. We got my office building, and think of this like any sliding door. When you walk up to it, it opens nice and quick so you can get through it, and then it closes behind you nice and slow so it doesn't smush you. So let me show you how I did this. Once again, I've got 2 prop manipulators on each of these doorways. Now, one thing I did with these doorways, you should know, is I changed the depth of them to be really thin so that they would disappear behind these walls. Now, it didn't do a great job on this side of it. So if I was really making this great, I would probably, finagle this a little bit more. Here, I'm gonna make it great. There we go. Now you can't see it on either side of the wall, so it looks normal. But each of these prop movers are basically exactly how I've got that set up over there. But I've changed the distance to 2 meters and the open speed to 7 meters. And then I've changed the close speed to 3 meters per second. And once again, the distance is the exact same. And then I just flipped these. So I just copied these like this. And then I just flipped these around so that it worked the opposite on this door. Then I have these triggers down here that when you stand on it, it triggers channel 1 to open it. And then a trigger here when you get through the door that triggers to close the door behind you. And it's that simple, guys. And now we have this really cool custom doorway that you could never build before. It's this kind of stuff that makes your maps really immersive. So that's a nice simple door, but then we can make all sorts of doorways and entrances with this. We can take what we've already built here and like make this cool cooler. So I'm just gonna bring it back and I'm gonna flip it and place it just up here right behind it. So now I'm gonna have like 2 doorways that are opening. I'm just gonna change the speed on some of these so that it opens at a different rate. So that it looks like there's multiple things opening. That's like slow and cool. So I've added 3 layers here. And now you can see when it opens that I've got these like multi-layered doors that look really cool when they open and close. I mean, you can really get crazy with this. Okay, now let's talk about conveyor belts for a second. This is the one I made on my little Geonosis map here. I mean, you can see how cool it is going past everything. It just feels awesome. Then I've got another conveyor belt up there with the droids going past. So you're gonna see up here. So this one actually isn't moving. It's just the robots that were moving, but then it just stopped. And then you'll see the problem with this one is it ends and it just keeps going. Let me show you how I made these really fast, and it's really simple. And let me talk about some of the problems with conveyor belts. So this is about as easy as you could ever build a conveyor belt, but the first step to this was making the walls for this, because the walls are really important because it really shows you how fast you're moving past things. Then you'll just see here that I built this belt. I just have 1 prop mover on it. There's hardly any like settings changed on this except for the speed and the distance of 100 meters. And then I just made this really long. So really, this is just 1 big prop that's moving together, and you could even like stretch these out as far as you wanted so you wouldn't have to place as many prop movers on this. But that was my whole strategy here, was just to show, you know, a conveyor belt for just a minute. This isn't really a playable conveyor belt. And the same thing up here with these robots. I just made a long line of robots that are all traveling 30 meters. So it stopped after 30 meters, but that's all I needed for the demonstration. Problem with the conveyor belts at this moment is it's really hard or almost impossible to get them to like regenerate. So like if I wanted a conveyor belt this long, wanted the one at the end to like pop back to its starting position and for it to like rotate. I messed around trying to figure that out for a while, and my brain just couldn't figure it out. But there is one setting that they could do to make this really easy. Is if Epic added a path completion action to, instead of ping pong, to restart, then it would be easy to make conveyor belts, because you could have this prop restart once it reaches this position, and then it would just keep like going around in a circle. And then it would just be about finding the timing on all of this so that it flows. Okay, finally, let me show you how to make a elevator. So I put an elevator here in my office building where I can go up all the way up to the 2nd floor and walk out to the 2nd floor. Oh wait, I forgot something. I need to go back down, and you can go back down, and you can do this all with just 2 prop movers. So I have my elevator prop here, which can be found in the tilted galleries. I think it's in a number of other galleries here. You can see what it looks like from back here. But all I have is a couple of prop movers here, and then a button here, and then a button up here as well. Now there are quite a few channels here, so bear with me. So I have the prop mover go up 4 meters because that's about how much of a distance it is here. But I have this start when receiving from channel 3, which is triggered by this button. This is where it's really important. When movement starts, transmit on channel 4, and when movement finishes, transmit on channel 5. Let me tell you what that's doing. So on this button, you can see here that it disables when receiving from channel 4. So that's as soon as this elevator starts moving up, it disables that button. So it's not like the button is moving down below the elevator when I'm moving. And then when this movement stops, when it gets up here, it enables this button, which then I can push to send me back down. Now on this prop mover that's moving down, it starts when receiving from channel 8. So that's the channel that's connected to this button. But when the movement starts, it transmits on 7, making this button up here disappear. And when the movement finishes, it transmits on channel 9, which then reactivates this button down here so we can go back up if we want. So in the end here, we have a flawlessly working elevator that goes up and down, and that is always working no matter what. The fact that we can do stuff like this now, it just blows my mind, and I love it.